The Witcher 3 got 30 views since I did it 2 days ago. Nice. It's like more than I usually. I should have probably asked if Wally was here. Oh no, there's Wally. Hi, Wally.
I've been here. I've been doing things in the background.
Nice. You're muted, so I was like, huh. Probably should have looked at him and asked before I confirmed, but oh well.
Dang it, I need to look up what my Twitch password is. I have no freaking clue.
Potato cheese monster biscuit.
That sounds like what Yuki would have.
Alright, Corin, I can hear us, and we sound pretty Gucci's, aside from your echoey typing.
Well, I'm afraid that is just a non-negotiable element.
Fair enough. Alright, well, feel free to stop to do that all the way around town.
Welcome back, everybody, to Jumpchain Terminal Season here in the world of Remnants, in the world of RWBY. It's been a little bit since we were last here, due to a variety of things, mainly the fact that I needed to move to a new place. Heck, Portland.
Yeah. So don't worry about his audio. It may or may not get fixed next week.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what happens when I just start swaddling huge swaths of my rum in towels and junk.
Yeah.
In the meantime, as I recall, when last we left off, y'all were investigating the church. You'd found the secret room hidden beneath it that appears to have been a star map. Stars that look nothing like the modern stars, but it looked very similar to the stars that Katie had seen through the eyes of Dave the Octo Dude.
Mm-hmm.
However, as you are all leaving the light, you heard a loud crash in the area nearby of something hitting the ground with extraordinary force and speed. And I believe that's when we last left off, correct?
I think so.
Was it?
That's about as far as I remember.
To shake.
Oops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
All right. Does anyone happen to remember what I named the person that you were around?
Aaron.
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 Okie doke. So
Aaron Aronson.
I had to think about it.
all of you are currently inside of the main room of the church as the impact against the ground causes everything to shake violently. You can see that a considerable amount of dust is cast about from the variety of areas inside of the church, and given the way that some of the things around here are making a creaking noise, you imagine that the supports did not take kindly to that. It's not exactly at risk of collapsing right now, but it might be a good idea to check what's going on and get out in case that wasn't the only impact.
Okay.
Yeah. So I won't head outside.
Okay. That is the question. Who is the first? Who is like in front as everyone's leaving?
Would Jackalope be ahead of Hunter?
I mean, probably.
Oh, there you go.
So
probably
probably
Jackalope
in
first.
the front. Now, who is in the back?
That's a good question.
I think that would be either me or Lenene.
Lenene.
Sure. I'll be with that.
In that case, I will have Katie and Lynn roll sense. Jackalope is, and as you do that, Jackalope, as you step outside the area first, aside from the fact that it is incredibly bright to be stepping out of the largely sealed region. Nice to you both passed. As you step out of the church, which had been closed up in order to prevent the light, it's really just painfully bright. But as your eyes adjust a little bit more, you're able to spot that something did in fact land nearby. There's a large crater now. You can't see over the lip of it, but it clearly goes in pretty deep. The area around about 30 meters ahead of the church, something crashed down heavily. You want to run forward and look down into the impact zone?
I mean, I'll walk forward and look into the impact zone.
Heck
Okey-doke.
yeah.
Yeah.
As for you, Hunter, do you do the same?
Yeah.
Okay. At his side or behind him?
I would do that aside.
Cool. Now to resolve the sense rolls, Lynn and Katie, both of you are able to hear a sound akin to whispering from behind you. When you look around, though, you are clearly the only people inside of the church at the moment. Everyone else evacuated very quickly. The
Makes
whispering
sense.
continues for just a few moments, but you can't make out what it is. But something was definitely whispering inside of the church a moment ago.
Gotta check out that whispering.
Did I hear like any breathing, or was it just like a whispering thing?
It sounded like something whispering. It did sound human. It sounded about human. So maybe a human, maybe a faunus. You can't really tell the differences, but whatever it is approximately human. However, a few moments later, it simply stops, and you can't hear any sign of it. You can also see ahead of you that both Jackalope and Hunter have moved forward, seemingly towards the source of the explosion.
Are the other family members, are they also going there?
From where you are, you can't see very well out the door due to how bright it is compared to the rest of the area, but you do know that most of the people who exited through either the openings near the front or near the right-hand side, or I guess the eastern side of the church, assumedly to look in exactly that region.
Alright.
Do you choose to continue to stay inside of the church, or do you head out?
I just want to know what that whispering is.
Yeah.
See,
can't-
sidetracked is sometimes Katie's middle name.
Okay, so it looks like Katie's going to be sticking around here to investigate the weird whispers. Lynn, do you want to head out and join Hunter and Jackalope, or will you stick with Katie?
Does the place... No, there's a crater outside, so the ground shook because of the crater, right? It's not that
Yes.
this place is going to be collapsing on our heads? Possibly?
So the source of the creaking and all of that is definitely the fact that there was a heavy, massive impact from outside. Something crashed down.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then the whispers. But Katie and I, we both know that no one else was in this church besides us. So it could have been just like, you know how the holes in the walls do distort air? It could have been something like that, because we didn't see anybody or see any heat signatures of people.
This is true.
Maybe it would be best to go outside and see what's going on instead.
Okay. So you would like to head out?
Yes, but only if I don't know. Like, should I leave Katie by herself? I can. She's a girl. Okay,
Katie
whatever.
doesn't mind either way.
Alright. I'll check out the crater.
Okay. Katie, roll me another sense.
Hmm.
And in your case, pass on 4.
Alright. Got a
That
6.
is definitely more than a 4.
Good job.
Jeez.
Following the sound, it sounds like it came from the pulpit. So you end up walking towards there. However, before you reach it, we'll transition back over to the outside crew. As you all walk towards the crater, Jackalope and Hunter arrive first and immediately are able to see that what landed in there is very circular. I will put up an image.
Oh, that's weird. Jesus.
Ah, dang.
That is what it
14?
looks like. Technically, that is from Final Fantasy XIV, but technically it's from a game that's considerably older.
Oh.
Ball!
Spherical object!
Yeah, looking inside, you can clearly see that this large orb has impacted down and has slammed into the ground. However, surprisingly, it's not deeply embedded. If anything, it barely seems to be on the surface. Where, honestly, probably not too hard to roll though the fact that it's at the bottom of a hemisphere from the impact would make it very difficult to roll up.
A couple more fall down, you can make a snowman.
Do either of you go into the crater before Lynn arrives?
I throw a rock at it.
Throw a rock at it.
Yes.
I'll make sure he doesn't kill himself.
Okay, so make a dexterity check and honestly pass on 4. It's immobile. 3 degrees of success. You nail that sucker right in the center. And as the stone impacts against it, you notice the surface ripples. The stone seems to stop immediately at the points of contact before slowly getting absorbed into the large circular structure.
Well, that's not good.
Lynn, you walk up and you are able to look in and see that you see the thing, and the first thing that you note is determined by your sense roll. All right, with a degree of success, you can see that it's warm.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is it warm in a familiar way. Very reminiscent of an egg.
Egg.
Oh, guys, that thing looks like an egg. It's warm in the inside.
Oh.
Aren't a lot of things warm on the inside?
Yeah, but this one came from space. How is it warm in the inside?
How do we know it's from space? You sure somebody
that's
didn't
true.
just chuck this thing?
Who chucked it?
It's a solid
Who
question.
wouldn't?
You could look up and try and see if there's any way to determine where it came from.
Sure, the angle where it could have come from.
Okay. I assume all 3 of you look up?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm just gonna keep staring at the thing.
Okay, so Jackalope doesn't see, but both Lynn and Hunter, you look up and you can see that there appears to be a couple of stars. Shooting stars. In the middle of the day. And they're getting bigger.
Sorry.
Oh dear.
2 more large objects are falling towards your position.
This is the weirdest snowball game.
Switching back to Katie. Katie, you are now standing in front of the pulpit and listening very closely. You can still hear the whispering.
Can I tell where it's coming from?
Yes, it is coming from underneath the floorboards beneath the pulpit. As in, you would have to rip the pulpit away, destroy it, to get underneath and find where the source of the whispering is coming from.
I do this without hesitation.
Okay, give me a strength roll.
Oh dear. Wait. Okay.
It's like, this
shoot
was
the
not my
ground in like a
intention.
circular motion or something to like make a hole.
You do have SMGs if you would like to perforate it.
I think I'll. I think...
making little perforations in lined paper before you pull it.
Wait, hold up. Define SMGs for me.
Well, you've got your 2 handheld fiery gun thingies. Senor Neurolethatep and what was the other one?
Captain Cupcakes.
Captain Cupcakes. I was thinking muffins for some reason.
That one works.
Muffin
No,
time,
maybe later.
muffin
Maybe
time.
later, muffins. Okay. I'm just gonna try doing it normally first off because, like, if I try to explode it, that might accidentally destroy it. So that'll be my second thing if this doesn't work out.
Okay.
Oh, never mind.
Well,
it worked out.
You got a success.
Yeah, I'm not even that strong. I'm a noodle. I'm a noodle girl.
Well, between the fact you don't exactly have a lot of strength, so if it was a fully properly maintained pulpit, that probably still wouldn't be enough just due to you only having 1 strength. However, it's old. The wood is not maintained well. It's starting to rot a little, and as you push it really hard, it does snap, and you can clearly see that yes, there are some weak, rotted boards covering something.
Gotta check this out, man.
Okay, do you rip up the boards?
Yeah. Is that strength?
No, they're so rotted that it's not hard. As you reach in, you tear them up, and you look in, and you can tell where the whispering is coming from, because The black eyes in the marble-shaped mask look and face you.
Hi, how
Ugh.
you doing?
Switching back out to the people on the outside, Lynn, can you go ahead? Actually, let's see. I wonder, do we have a direct parallel to the intelligence score? Doesn't seem that we do.
No, we do not.
Well, I will just assume that y'all are smart cookies and give you 3d6.
Okay.
So Lynn and Hunter, because you saw it, roll me 3d6.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
All
Wow.
right, both of you are smart, intelligent individuals who can tell that the trajectories are that one of them is going to go wide. It's going to fall around 30, 40 meters east of your position. It will shake the ground, but you are not in danger. The problem is the other one. The other one, it's not hard to tell its positioning either, as it's clearly going to crash directly into the church.
Oh, that's not good.
Can
The one with
I
Katie in it.
direct it?
Aw,
I'm gonna fly up.
jeez.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
immediately
maybe
look
direct
at Jackalope. How do you feel about punching a rock?
Well,
Jackalope looks up at you. Depends if that rock will melt my hand or not.
I legitimately don't
confirm.
know.
The egg ate the rock that you threw into it. It absorbed it.
I propose that I fly up there and shift its potion or whatever, wherever it's going with the gravity.
Throw me?
Throw
Throw
you?
me?
Sure. I can do
Yeah.
two things at once.
I will say, you got 2 degrees of success, so I will give more information here. Based on your logical determinations, Lynn, this thing is moving at terminal velocity. While you could attempt to redirect it with gravity, it's not really something that you're going to be able to cause it to shift enough. The fall speed is so fast that that when it gets into your field of reference, trying to shift it off to the side, by the time that you're able to exert much force, it'll already be out of range. Since
You're
it's moving
gonna
at
just gonna go
maximum speed.
save Katie then.
Well, Jackalope, you said throw me. Would you like to elaborate on what you meant by that?
Hunter has a gun. It's big. He's got some decent strength and gravity magic, more or less.
Yeah, I'll toss
You
it,
could
and then I
basically
can.
turn that into a slingshot with some gusto.
Yeah, I can. Do you want any form of barrier between you and the thing rushing at you?
I'm not a smart man. The answer is no.
I think that you should actually probably consider the answer of yes. It might eat you.
For a moment,
That's
I
a
just thought you were
problem
gonna.
for future Jackalope. Current Jackalope just wants to get up there.
Future Jackalope might hate past Jackalope for these actions.
I'm already missing an arm, and I still don't hate it. Your
Alright,
argument is invalid.
Hunter
well, I'm
shrugs
gonna-
and he swings down his gunblade into the ground.
Plus,
Get on.
so I have explosions on my side.
Get on.
I don't have to physically hit it. I just have to explode it.
God.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna go get Katie out of there.
We'll buy you some time.
Alright.
Hi, Ellie.
I'll put a portal down right underneath me, and then I'm gonna use gravity to shoot myself back to the church and go grab her.
Nice.
Okie doke. So you're doing a little gravity slingshot business.
Yes. Yeah. I'm
And then I
flinging
moved
myself.
my weapon down so Jackalope can get on top of it.
Okay. For the 2 of you, I would like you to both roll dexterity.
Okay.
One for your aim and how you're launching Jackalope, and Jackalope for how you move through the air and account for being launched.
Ugh.
You got a degree of success, Jackalope.
Hi, Pocket.
Let's see. Hunter, yours was the 2d6?
Yep.
Okay. So, Jackalope, you do end up managing to get launched into the air. Now, you're pretty good at controlling your position in the air, but unfortunately, Hunter kind of missed a bit. You're going to go a little bit wide. You should be able to utilize... You're not going to be able to impact directly against it, but you should be able to do something. I assume you have planned.
If my trajectory is off to the side, not in front, I can end up using the explosions from my gauntlets to possibly redirect it with the force of the explosion. If it can't deal with, say, a physical item making contact with it without eating it, that didn't say anything about the ability to possibly redirect it via the impact of a force that is not a physical. More or less, the shockwave could possibly move its trajectory out of the way from the explosion that my gauntlets can create.
Okay.
So
How
you're gonna
much
punch it?
force can you put behind the gauntlet?
That would be a 3d6 currently.
Okie doke.
Because
Let's take a
punch
look
it?
at it.
Things don't try punching it.
That's
Is it a
3d8.
Yeah, that was the wrong one.
That's
That was a
1d6.
d6. Please, brain. I know I'm sleepy. Come on.
Oh!
No.
No! Don't give me.
I really hate that
Oh,
you started
yeah.
with the 8s.
I'm very sleepy, by the way. I'm gonna point that out now.
Oh,
Your rolls really hate that
Okay.
you started with an 8, my man.
oh no!
So for context, this thing is falling at terminal velocity. It is moving at the speed of a meteor. As a frame of reference, that's approximately 40,000 miles an hour. It's a little
Big
fast.
number.
As you end up going a bit wide, but yes, with your explosions and your gauntlets, you are able to knock yourself to the side so that you're able to get close to aligned. And rearing back, you do throw a punch in order to try and detonate it, in order to try and knock the meteor off to the side. There's a slight issue though. When you cause the detonation, it stops. Specifically, it freezes entirely in the air as you detonate it, and with your 3 ones, you can feel your fist impact against the surface, the metal fist. You can feel it impact against the surface, and you can feel it trying to pull you in.
Why did it stop right in the midair? Ugh, magic.
Num 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 num
Well.
num num num.
Well, what are you gonna do?
When in doubt, disconnect.
Ditching the arm?
Yeah.
Okay. You disconnect it, and you're going to end up falling a fair bit, but I assume you have landing strategy?
Yep.
You're fine. You do end up losing the arm, but you watch as the orb absorbs the arm into itself. And unlike the previous thing, you note that as that happens, something seems to shift inside of it. You notice that on the surface, small black dots begin manifesting and circling around it. As at that, it starts descending directly down towards the ground. Jackalope, you end up falling faster, since it seems to be defying gravity with its rate of descent, meaning that you do have the time to scramble out of the way so it does not land, basically on you.
Cool.
Now, that does prevent it from impacting against the church.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Lynn, you said you were rushing into the church. I assume this means that you did not see that happen because of your emphasis on getting in time.
Yeah, no.
Okay. As you rush in there, you spot Katie staring at the ground. Something inside of some broken chunks of the wood. Meanwhile, jumping back 10 seconds, Katie, you see a marble-looking mask with black eyes that seem to be focused on you. And you said hi.
Yeah, I did. How you doing?
The only response it seems to have is to blink.
Ugh.
Mr. Gremlin Man living in the floor. It's the
Now-
same one. It's the same one from earlier.
It looks like it's the same kind of creature. However, this appears to just be the marble mask, nothing else. It doesn't have a large marble body, and honestly, the mask is probably only around the size of both of your hands. It probably would not even cover your whole face if you were to put it on.
So is this like a different thing, or is it like specifically the mask of that guy?
So that previous creature that you saw that Dave pulled down was entirely made of marble, all the way through. This just appears to be, like if you took that thing and then you shaved off its face, then this could look like its face. Given the fact that it has the same beaded black eyes.
Unpleasant.
However, it is just the face.
Weird. I like it. Can I keep it?
Sure. Do you want to grab it?
Yeah, heck yeah, let's go.
Which hand do you grab it with?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Right or left?
Right?
Usually it's the dominant one, isn't it?
Okay. So once you grab it, the first thing that you note, so roll an endurance check for me, please.
Oh no.
Good luck.
I don't like where this is going.
Look at you guys touching things without any gloves on and just picking up shit.
To be
Touching
fair, the
something.
thing that Jackalope touched very much, he did not touch it with his skin. I tell you what.
Yep.
Look, I have what I would consider
Crippling depression.
to be an expendable existence. I.e., I have a limb that I can disconnect at will.
There's that, but she doesn't have that either.
So, Katie, you rolled 2 degrees of success.
Heck
which,
yeah.
Great success. Which is the requirement in order to fully resist this thing. The moment you touch it, you have an almost overwhelming desire to put it over your own face.
Oh.
But with a great success, you just squish it down and think, yep, I remember. This is exactly what Grandpappy told me to never do on a Tuesday morning. I am not wearing this.
I remember this SCP.
Now, what you also note, though, is that you can't let go of it. Like, you can't drop it. Your hand will not let you let go.
It's too cute.
Now, cutting to Lynn, now that the appropriate amount of time, she's not just staring into the broken, rotted wood, she is holding something in her hand that looks to be made of marble.
Well, I'm racing over to her, and I...
Oh, and actually, because you have heat vision, you can see it is the same substance as the egg.
Concerned? But there's a meteor coming for us, at least I think so. And so she's gonna yell, Katie, grab my arm! And she's gonna... And she just goes and places a portal right down below us, and we get out of there.
Okay, so you two end up in the,
Warehouse.
Yes, the warehouse.
And
Okay.
close that off.
So it is now closed off. Do you have a way to reconnect with the party?
Yeah, I put a portal right where Hunter and they were standing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you go in, you are safe. Jackalope, you have now moved away from the spot as the orb seems to be settling down onto the ground. You can see that several of the other various family members are flanking it. You notice they have a variety of firearms. Most notably, Aaron is standing fairly close to the two of you, probably because you look a fair bit stronger than the average person around here. The one that slowly descends finally lands. As you notice, it just barely seems to touch the ground. The black dots seem to continue circling around it until a moment later, roll sense for me.
What is my...
Wait, who's rolling sense?
Jackalope and Hunter.
Ah.
Jackalope passes.
Nice.
Concern. Hey.
The both of you pass. It's an uncomfortable, prickling sensation on the back of your neck. Your hair stands on end. You have the overwhelming urge to duck, dodge, drop down, belly down, whatever. Do you listen to the urge?
I would.
Yes.
Stop, drop, and roll, boys!
Both of you hit the ground belly first. Aaron immediately copies the two of you, just in time, as it becomes clear that the small black dots all around it were small bits of the metal that made up the arm. and immediately they all burst out simultaneously like tiny shrapnel bullets.
Jesus.
Several of the members of the family who were standing a bit too close have now been perforated in over a dozen different locations. You're quite confident that there are several that were punctured through vital organs.
At least we have her with us. Well, she can help some of them.
That the small black dots on its surface have now drastically decreased, but there are still several more. As my tongue betrayed me. It seems to surge together and form into a new shape. It lunges out with a thin wire of the metal and grasps onto one of the shot individuals. Do either of you try to take any action at this point?
I don't
The
think I
people
would.
die.
What'd you say, Hunter?
So I don't think I would take any. I would make sure that they're okay before I would do anything else.
Okay. Well, the person who currently has the thing grabbing his leg is the
It's probably not going to be good so far.
Yeah, it
If we
doesn't
don't do
sound like
something.
it's going to be good.
just want to be sure that you're not like doing something.
Trying to reach forwards or anything? No. That is just one of the mooks, right?
At base.
Yeah, you could call them mooks. Yeah.
At base. You're not going to try to do anything?
Well, you don't know his name. You don't know his face.
But
That's for
what
certain.
if he has a family and a child?
Technically, they're all the family.
Oh,
Yeah,
did you do something?
he probably wouldn't go
I
forwards
can
to reach him.
explode his leg off. Now, would you like to rephrase the question?
That is an option that is available to you if you would like to take off his leg. That is an option.
Trying to cut the wire first.
No.
What do you mean no?
The thing already took my arm, and this man has no actual benefit to me. Why would I risk my own arm to save someone who doesn't have a clear benefit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Hunter, do you feel the same?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. He is grabbed by the leg, and he is pulled very sharply. There is a shock, terror, and more than a bit of pain as it's clear his hip dislocates from the force that he's ripped to the side.
Ow.
And a moment later, he goes silent as he is pulled into the egg.
Ugh.
Neat.
At that, the egg suddenly flashes. A sequence of sigils and marks seem to start flashing around it. As you notice, the surface of it bears each of those 4 unique signs and starts spiraling up the surface. Until a moment later, every one of the marks turns completely black, and the egg cracks. Marble fingers reach into the crack and tear it apart from the inside. And in front of you is the same kind of creature as what Dave pulled into the ground. Black pinpricks of eyes turn to focus on Jackalope and on Hunter. Seems to regard you carefully for a moment, and then just looks past you to the large Nevermore that had been on the location that had been working with the family.
Mm-hmm.
Its mouth seems to split open violently, or at least where a mouth should be, and you can see that jagged, broken chunks of marble make up the inside of it. There is no proper tongue, there's no pipe that leads down. It's clearly not an orifice meant for eating or consuming. The rough blade suggests it is just meant for evisceration, as it immediately begins screaming and sprinting towards the Nevermore, which in return flings its rider right off and charges right at the beast.
Sheesh.
The 2 of them immediately engage in combat. Do either of you take any action?
No, I'll keep watching.
Wow. The
Just get out the popcorn.
Yeah, it disobeyed its owner, having been trained for who knows how long, and just went into like a natural instinct of fighting this creature.
Yeah, no, this is their problem, not ours.
Wow.
So I'm
For
just
how
gonna
long?
I'm gonna just go collect the other two and get ready to leave. It's not our problem, it's theirs.
Katie,
Okay.
is Katie seeing this, or is
Katie is
she getting
not
transported?
seeing
Not
this. You two are
popping
inside
out
the
yet,
warehouse. So
but I would.
unless...
Yeah, I did want us to pop back out.
Okay, so you do pop back out?
Yes. We
Then
should be
what
where
you
Hunter
see...
is.
Yeah, as you pop out near Hunter, both of you are able to see just as the thing... you step out when the thing rips open its face to reveal the bladed structure and starts charging forward.
Mm-hmm.
And Katie, to tell you specifically, yes, it is clear that it has the intent of killing the Nevermore. The big birdie!
I need to protect the birdie. My birdie protecting like instincts engage. Just sprint towards it, pull out, flipping Senor Narla.
If you're sprinting towards it, I'm shooting it. Not the bird, the guy.
I also think that we should at least try to apprehend this creature for study.
Because I know for a fact, once she gets close enough, it's turning towards her. So I'm going to shoot it preemptively.
Okay. Jackalope, seeing your companion now sprinting straight into the fray, what do you do?
I watch.
Okay. As the marble creature is engaged in the fight against the Nevermore, as the Nevermore clearly tries to rip into it with its jaw, you notice that two more black pinpricks appear on the back of its head, and it focuses down hard on two people. It focuses on Katie and on Lynn. For whatever reason, two more mouths open up, and it starts screaming at the two of you as well. While it seems to be... go ahead, yes. While it seems fine ignoring Jackalope and Hunter, for some reason it is regarding both of you as a threat immediately.
Do I get an extra D1 from being a mecha shift engineer?
No, but I will give you another D6 because it is a stationary target. The Nevermore is holding it in place.
Well
darn.
Ah.
So you end up impacting against its shoulder, but not directly enough to deal damage. It's more of a glancing blow, and it seems to disregard the impact in the first place. The creature seems to rip itself partially in half, a second torso appearing out of its body. It's clear it shrunk itself, but now a torso has removed itself and is now dragging itself across the ground with its hands towards Katie, who is charging at it.
Alright. I'm gonna start off with a good old explosive glitter blow.
Okie doke. And could you tell me how you do that?
Okay, alright. So, okay, describe to me what this thing looks like again.
Right now, it is, imagine a person's torso, like from the hips upwards. It's got the arms, it's got the head, the abdomen region, and it's probably, if it was standing up tall, it would be a solid 5 feet from the bottom portion of its hips up to the top of its head. It is quite tall. However, as it's dragging itself across the ground, it's only a few feet tall because it's mostly horizontal. It does have a jagged open mouth structure composed of sharpened spikes of marble, and it does have two black eyes that are small, just like smaller than your pinky.
Okay. Alright, is this thing entirely composed of that marbly stuff, or is there
Yes, it is 100% marble.
Alright, okay. Depending on how hard that marble is, it might be a bit difficult to get through to it. But I'm gonna go ahead and aim for the mouth portion. Just the general face.
Okay, and you said you're using some kind of bomb?
Yeah.
Okay,
Shooting
and you're throwing the bomb? Or with your gun?
I was just gonna shoot at it.
Okay, you're gonna shoot at it.
Yeah.
Since you're used to dual wielding, I will not give you a penalty for using your offhand to fire on its own, because you can't wield both of your weapons because the mask is still in your hand.
Yeah, I can't drop it because it's too cute.
Go ahead and roll a dex.
Roll a dex. That would be. Yeah, okay, that's 3 ticks. Alright. Sweet.
2 degrees of success. You are able to fire, and you're aiming for its mouth. Not only do you hit it, you do hit into its mouth. The bullets impact. This, especially around the smaller spikes of marble, they do snap fairly easily when the bullets impact. And as you end up shooting chunks of its face, it's clear that the bullets are creating marked indents, scratches, and even breaks in the marble. The marble's strong, but it's not bulletproof. However, this is not stopping it from surging towards you. Now, let's see. Lynn, I don't believe you've taken an action.
No, I'm gonna get off the ground, and is it currently? So I was reading up on my abilities again, but is it currently running towards Katie and I? Or wait, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, sort of. There is the main body that is engaged in a battle with the Nevermore. A chunk of its body came off and shaped itself into a torso, which is rushing towards Katie. So there are 2 discrete entities for you in this area. One is distracted by the Nevermore, one is targeting Katie.
Okay. After I get off the ground, can I only go up 10 feet in a move action? Or
if you utilize your ability, I'm going to say that you could go considerably. So, with your flight, I assume you're as good with flight as you are moving, running. So I would say that normally you'd be able to move basically in a range of 30 feet. So, for example, 30 feet straight up. Now, if you were using your ability to reverse gravity, I would turn that to a 60 foot, since you're working with gravity. However, if you are not actively using your ability for increased movement speed, you are able to move upwards 30 feet in one round.
Got it. I'll only move up 30 feet, and I'm going to the one that's the torso that's rushing towards Katie. I'm going to lift it off the ground slightly with reverse gravity to 0 gravity.
Okie doke. So you're reversing gravity, I'm assuming, to a rate of like -1g, so 1g pushing it upwards?
Yes, I want to just get it off the ground.
Okie doke. It does have 1 degree of success. As it starts being pulled upwards, its long arms elongate towards the ground and dig in before rapidly splintering out, almost like tree roots, in order to ground itself. One of its arms ends up staying that way, while the other one seems to grow more arms out of it, each in turn reaching towards Katie. They're a lot smaller, though, now, instead of being abnormally large size. I'd say they're probably around a little bit smaller than Katie's hands at this point, as it's now reaching almost to her.
Hi.
Now, Katie?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me an endurance.
Ooh.
The mask again?
Okay, 2 degrees of success. That's a great success. You are able to resist. The mask wants to be on the creature.
That
You
would
can
not.
resist
That
it.
seems pretty unpoggers. This thing, like flippin', it's trying to hurt a birdie. This
How
is my
dare
moral
it?
compass. I'm not gonna like flippin' give in to the weird, twisted desires of a birdie herder.
All right.
Birdie
So,
herd.
so you suppress the urge and do not give it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to retreat away from the creature?
Yeah. I'm gonna like retreat away from this creature and like see if I can get closer to the birdie.
Okay, so you'll want to. So you're going to try to circle around and get towards the bird.
Yeah.
Okie doke. That shouldn't be too hard. I believe you have a speed roll, right? Yes, you have 2d. You have a 2. So roll me 2d6.
Cool. Ah, dang.
So you're going to have a bit of trouble getting there, taking the longer way around. It's going to take a little bit. In the meantime, Jackalope, I assume you're still holding your action, or do you want to change and do something? Which I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Before we get to that, can I utilize my Heelys?
You can utilize. So The issue with it is that this is a very grassy area. If you roll me a dex, if you succeed on a dex, I will allow it.
Oh my
3
god,
degrees of
all
success?
successes!
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
It was meant to be.
So roll me another speed check with an additional +1, so 3d6 for your speed this time. You
No,
got a
it's
degree of
success.
success? Okay, you are moving fairly quickly. I will still ask
Sweet.
Jackalope if he's still holding his action.
I'm gonna pick up a rock. Well, I say rock. Correction. I make a boulder.
All right. Especially with the destruction of the area around you thanks to the impact, it is not hard to find a suitably large chunk of rock to rip out of the ground.
Neat.
Is there anything specific you want to do with it, or are you holding both the action and a giant frick-off boulder?
I'm gonna just chuck it wherever Katie is standing.
You're gonna chuck it at me?
Technically, not really at you. You're just kind of in the way.
So you're throwing it near Katie, or like because the thing is approaching Katie?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. Roll me a dex.
It is kind of
Okay,
staked
I
in
am
the
missing an
ground
arm.
now.
Do you want that to be a 3d6?
You're right. Do take a penalty. So yes. Ooh.
Good thing I said.
Katie, roll dex.
Okay, alright.
Catch it, cat.
You did get a degree of success, so you are just barely able to avoid getting blasted by a boulder.
I just glance over at Jackal with the most confused expression.
However, the creature failed its dex roll, so it still gets hit.
Oh,
It was lunging towards
Oh.
Katie. The boulder crashes down and lands on the large arm structures.
the boulder's
There
no
is a
longer conflicted about
distinctive
who to
sound.
fight.
The boulder is no longer conflicted. The impact ends up letting out a loud sound that is very clearly the sound of shattering marble. The creature lets out its own high-pitched screaming sound. If you have tinnitus, then that's all I need to say. That's what it sounds like. The high-pitched ringing in your ears. That is the sound that it makes as it screams.
Oh
Mm.
my gosh.
Well,
Put
in
it
which
in
case,
fire.
I just like look over the Jackal or something and just like, yeah.
Jackalope just looks at you all. This ain't our job. This is their problem. We got other crap to do.
It became my
birdie.
problem when a birdie was getting hurt.
That thing would eat you in a heartbeat.
Well,
With
think of-
affection. Have you ever heard of love bites?
What the heck's a love bite? I've heard of
It's when-
something ripping out your internal organs and using that as a meal.
Love bites
And
is
that's
when
a
it,
rope.
when it does that affectionately.
Well,
You're
With
an
that said,
idiot. I hope you realize this.
at
That
that,
is
the
just crazy.
the large structure that's wrestling with the Nevermore does stop focusing on the Nevermore quite as much as Katie is now approaching. As instead of growing another mouth to scream at Katie, it instead rotates its head around, pivoting to stare directly at Katie, and it tries to just throw the Nevermore away. It fails. While it tries to separate from the Nevermore instead wraps its wings around it and continues assaulting it with its beak, trying to rip it open as the talons grip it viciously.
Adorable.
Okay, Katie, you are rapidly approaching it. Hunter, though, your action will come first, as you will have the opportunity to shoot it if you would like. Would you like to shoot the version that is partially crushed on the boulder and thus a much easier target, or would you like to shoot the one that is currently actively wrestling with a Nevermore, where if you mess up, you will shoot the Nevermore?
Considering Katie would probably string me from my tootsies off of a cliff if I shot the Nevermore at the moment, I'm going to shoot the one under the boulder and hope that it injures the other form as well.
Okie doke, go ahead and roll a dex for me.
Okay.
With an additional +1 because it is immobilized by the boulder.
The boulder wants to be...
Well, you have 1 degree of success. You are able to strike it in the torso. Not only that, the impact is hard. If Katie's smaller caliber bullets were enough to leave scratches and occasional breaks in the marble, yours, it doesn't punch all the way clean through, but you just cratered its torso. A good chunk of it has now been sunken into itself, as a large portion of the marble has also been launched projectilely behind it. You can see that the bullet is now lodged inside of its chest, functioning more like the slug itself, now forming a large part of it. The ringing, tinnitus-like sound is still painfully apparent in your ears. It only seems to get louder now that you've inflicted a critical injury upon it. Lynn,
Wow.
it is now your move as well.
Mm,
And additionally,
just-
Lynn, you have a bird's eye point of view. You actually roll me a sense real quick.
Jesus.
Dang. Okay, 3 degrees of success. You not only see it, you see it with enough clarity to be able to call out this information. The other egg has laced its limbs, chunks of itself, and is going through the ground and grabbing a lot of the corpses. They're slowly being pulled towards it, not instantaneously like the rest, thus making it harder to be noticed by the other party members. But you, with your bird's eye view, can see that at least 6 corpses are being pulled towards the egg in the crater.
I don't have anything to really stop. I only have a gun. It only shoots once. And I don't feel like getting close enough to lop it with a knife. I don't think there's anything I can do about that right at the moment. So I'll keep that on the back pedal, but I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the one that has the boulder on it.
Okie doke. Did you announce the fact that the egg is doing its thing to the party?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say, yeah.
Okay, that is now public information for the whole party. Go ahead and make a dex shot.
I forget what my things are. It's just 2. Yes. Sure.
I'm just listening to near music in the background just to
There we
set the mood.
You've
Oh,
got
you're
yourself
listening.
a degree of success, and yeah, that's a
Oh.
good idea given the fact that these eggs are the image for the egg is that's from Drakengard.
Oh, damn, really?
So you are able to land the shot as well, where as you impact against the torso as well, it ends up impacting against the shot left behind from Hunter. And between the two of them, it's more than enough to push the last bullet through, as its entire torso is now a big old gaping hole. The screaming is a lot quieter now. The eyes focus on you, Lynn. You can see that one arm reaches up and tries to grow itself. The arms growing out of arms as it tries to climb up, but it doesn't even make it halfway before it just starts crumbling into dust. The small black eyes seem to seal over with the same marble substance that makes up the majority of its body, and its full body disintegrates. Meanwhile, the large structure that's wrestling with the Nevermore does not seem in any way fazed by it. However, it is smaller than when it first began due to the fact that it originally had to split itself to form that second piece. Now, Katie,
Yep.
thanks to those speed rolls, you have arrived and you are in melee distance, or like ish. You shooty bang bang distance.
Alright, okay. So are is the birdie and the other thing, they're like on the ground, right?
Yes.
So I can
They're
like
basically
get
wrestling.
on the Nevermore, right?
You could, yes. I would require Dex for you to be able to get onto it safely while it is in the throes of wrestling, but if you'd like to roll Dex for that, I will allow.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Just like try and ride basically ride the Nevermore.
Okay. 2
2
degrees of
degrees?
success, you are able to jump right onto it, and you are safely atop it. It's a little hard to stay on. You might be forced to do a dex to hold onto it if a large thing happens, such as it gets thrown. But right now, you are stably on its back. Why did you want to be on its back?
I could like. Alright, I could like try and see if I can like maybe shoot the other thing if possible. I don't want to hurt the Nevermore in the process. Like how that would depend on like how big my explosions are and how close they are to each other while they're wrestling.
So they are in direct physical contact. They are basically occupying the same squares. So any form of explosion will affect the both of them.
Okay. Alright, okay, let's see. So, okay, so this is like this creature here, this like its torso like came off. Is this just like a head or something, or did it like grow a
No,
body
it grew a second torso out of its own body and released that while shrinking in
as
the
one
process.
does? Okay.
Yes. So while this is markedly smaller, it is the full shape of something human-like. 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head.
I assumed that I would not be able to stab it. The marble feels like it would probably be too hard for that.
It would require a strength roll on your part.
I'm gonna try and stab it in the face. If that doesn't work, I
Okey-doke.
might end up like flipping, making a gram, or probably not throwing Fluffy at it. Well, maybe. But Fluffy might get hurt in the process.
Bear bomb.
If you would like to stab it, roll a strength check.
Alright,
You have failed.
even 3. Darn. Alright, okay. I'm gonna throw Fluffy at it.
Okay, you unshrink Fluffy. Make me a dex check.
Yeah.
You unshrink Fluffy in your
Hey,
pocket.
degree!
You are able to stay on Birdie, as now Fluffy has basically popped out of your jacket and is now assisting in the whole wrestling process. It is just
Hi,
a
Choozy.
tussle of marble and goo, and the limbs are everywhere.
You can do it, Fluffy. I believe in you.
Okay. Is there anyone else who wants to take an action right now?
They're like actively wrestling, right? Like flipping and.
Yes. The fact that Katie is staying on is a testament to the fact that this clearly is not her first rodeo.
All right. I'm just going to aim and hold an action for if it separates at some point, and then I'll shoot it in the ass.
Okie doke.
Like, literally? Is that what you're aiming for?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at its back, so.
Lynn, would you like to do the same thing?
I want to turn back and look at what the other egg is doing.
Okie doke.
And can I also take like would it take an action to take out a camera and start videotaping what's happening?
If you're not taking any other actions, then that's completely free.
Oh dang! But maybe I should save it.
But it depends on what you want. Like, for example, if you have to do like a big action, I'd say you probably would be able to do it. But if it's something simple, like it really depends. Pulling out your camera and recording is not a big thing. And I would say you're probably fine. However, if you want to do something big, something that requires both hands, you will have to drop your camera.
Damn, I don't have a stasher on my camera, do I? I guess I wouldn't. Oh, and a 30-foot drop, it would fucking die.
Yeah.
Slam.
Okay, I'm gonna hold the action, or should I? And I'm gonna watch what the other egg is doing, unless someone wants me to do something.
And Katie, were you saying something?
Yeah, would I be able to like hold the mask and like the crook of my armpit, like, and then be able to hold on better?
No, your hand will not let go of it. You are able to resist all of the mental effects, but it's still There's just something keeping you from letting it go.
I can't believe this Agent Righty flipping betrayed me.
Yeah. And lastly, Jackalope, was there any action that you wanted to take?
Jackalope.
No thoughts. Head empty. Only rock.
Wally! Wally!
Yo.
What? Wally, are you dead?
Looks like he may have had to step away.
Quite possibly.
Oh.
I shall assume that he is holding an action at this time.
He
Okie
contributed, at least in the form of a rock.
As for keeping an eye on the other egg, the bodies are being pulled in. From the seams of things, it seems like one of the bodies has likely been pulled in already, because while 6 were originally grabbed, you can only see 5 bodies inching towards it now.
Ugh.
You notice that the quote-unquote text is now scrawling across it. Originally, only Wally and Hunter saw the text because it prefaced the hatching, but now you are able to see the text as well. The only person who has not seen the text is Katie.
Oh, the only one that can read it is her.
She's
Am I
currently up in
saving a
a
birdie right
wrestling
now?
match with gods.
Yeah. I don't know how to stop. I don't want to get close to try to cut off those because I'll get pulled in.
Seems to be eating things to get either more powerful or to create more.
When in doubt, chuck more crap at it.
I don't have anything to chuck at it.
There are rocks on the ground.
Wally, would you like to throw a boulder at the egg?
Actually, I would like to pick up a relatively sturdy stone that I find on the ground, and I would like to shape it into a bullet-like object that I can throw at speed.
Okay,
Boy.
I will allow it. You will have to roll Dex at a penalty because of the missing arm in order to shape it, but it's not difficult to make that kind of shape.
Especially not difficult given that roll just now.
Dang, 3 degrees of success? Yeah, forget
Jesus.
bullet shaped. It's basically a bullet at this point. Tough, hewn, shaped. It is strong. You have a high quality projectile in your hands. Are you going to be throwing that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Can I make it go
then
faster?
Absolutely. Go
Okay.
ahead and roll a dex with hits on 4s.
I also have the ability, which is the Monster Hunter, which is the +1 die to any combat against a monstrous creature. Does that apply?
In this case, you're supporting his attack roll rather than attacking it directly. So
Fair
in
enough.
this case, no. However, thanks to your assistance, it hits on 4s, which means he does have a degree of success here.
Good job.
Nice.
With that shot, you end up throwing it towards it, and as you impact it, it doesn't hit the same way as the last one. In this case, it slams hard into one of the pieces of text, and you can see that for a moment, a spiderwebbing crack appears on that piece of text. Rapidly, it begins to warp. All of the text afterwards, rather than being a clear upward spiral of text, letter after letter, it starts garbling. The entire thing starts freaking out. Instead of looking like proper text, it looks more like a black scrawl climbing across its entire surface as it sharply pulls in the rest of the bodies. 2 of the bodies, rather than being pulled in, instead get crushed from the attempt at forcing them in. It seems like whatever you just did to the text is making it unable to eat properly.
You just gave it digestive issues.
Hey,
I mean, yeah, basically.
am the ghost pepper salsa.
Mood. So you are. Oh, so with that, it is able to absorb 4 of the bodies, but 2 of them are just reduced to a people paste. It is not pleasant to look at all. With that, though,
is this my first? Would this be my first time witnessing people paste if I was paying attention?
If you were looking inside of there, this would not be your first time paying attention to seeing people paste. You worked in the SCP Foundation.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, with that, you notice that cracks begin to form around it, but not in the same way as the other thing. Rather than cleanly cracking as it rips open its shell, instead, a screaming sound is starting to be emanated from inside of it, muffled and distant, wrapped in marble, but distinctly human screaming. The marble creature that is currently being wrapped up by both of the Grim is now going to make a roll. It once again fails the roll. It is not able to detangle itself from the attacking creatures. It does... Oh, I need to roll a strength then. However, it is clear that it is slowly, since only 1 degree of success, it is slowly now trying to drag itself and both of the Grim towards the other egg. It is no longer focusing on attacking.
This is not good. Okay. I could try to destroy the egg, or get to the... I don't trust my ability to destroy the creature, especially since this is so close to like the other Grim. So I'm just gonna like fire like bullets at the egg it's trying to drag the stuff into.
Okay, you're going to shoot the egg. Go ahead and roll a dex.
Sweet.
Okay, 2 degrees of success, and now roll an endurance.
Ah, dang it.
Jackalope, roll dex.
Un momento.
Why does it feel like you always get so ominous whenever you're like roll decks?
I just assume that it's because I'm telling people to roll dice, and whenever a GM does that, something's happening.
So I'm just dodging, yeah?
Yes.
Alright, mind if I roll it at a 4 instead of a 3 since I'm not using my arms here?
Absolutely. All right, with a 6, you are able to get out of the way. Katie, as you pull the trigger, your arm moves unbidden. And rather than shooting at the egg, it ends up going wide, very nearly hitting Jackalope, who's able to duck out of the way. You can very much feel that it was the mask that prevented you from doing it.
Agent Righty! God dang it!
You're the one that picked up the mask in the first place. What are you being mad about? He's like, oh man, this cursed object shouldn't have done that to me. You picked up the cursed object!
We all know I was going to pick up the cursed object.
Okay.
That was going to happen.
The screaming has gotten louder. Who would like to take the next action?
Is there anything that I can pick? I want to pick up something and then toss it at it with gravity. Is there anything that I can do with that?
There's a lot of rocks.
Okay. So, big rocks?
Yes. You can throw the big rocks, and since you're using gravity, no strength requirement will be there for any sort of boulder lifting. Instead, you'll just need to make a dex roll for throwing the sucker.
Got it. And this one, can I use any combat roll against a monstrous creature?
Yes, specifically because the screaming makes it clear that is very much monstrous.
So, dex. I think I only have 3 dice for that. Eee!
All right.
Get pelted, bitch.
The boulder slams down into it. The boulder cracks and seems to crumble as the egg, rather than the text scrolling over itself, it is now almost, I describe it as glitching. It's moving forward a bit, but then suddenly clicking back as it continues to try to write across itself, but it is clearly starting to fail.
Hey, by the way, where's the goose?
The goose? The goose is currently watching. You have not given it orders, and this is not the kind of battle that the goose would simply run into the fray on. The goose possesses a considerable amount of self-preservation.
Yeah, I haven't like attached rockets to the goose yet, or like rocket launchers or anything yet. So yeah, it's not the battle for the goose right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, and Hunter, is there anything you'd like to do?
Has the creature
It is still stuck with the rest of them.
hasn't like got one over like any positioning or anything of the.
It is not. When I did the roll to see if it could disconnect, it failed the roll, so it's still caught by both the creatures.
Oh, that's annoying.
So okay. Oh,
Hmm?
I was just wondering, like, if the egg that the marble thing was trying to drag the Grim into was the same one that's currently having a seizure right now.
The egg is having a seizure.
Okay. Is it just one egg?
Yes, just the one egg.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna see what happens if I shoot the egg.
I will note there is technically another egg that landed 40 meters away, but it is outside of line of sight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try shooting the egg that's sucking creatures in. See what happens.
Okie doke. Go ahead and make a dex roll to shoot it.
Since stationary, do I get a +1?
Yes.
Okay. Boom shakalaka.
A degree of success. You're able to shoot it, it impacts, and the text has now slowed to a crawl. It is barely able to move at all. From the seams of things, whatever is going on, the text is going to stop entirely if it takes much more damage.
Jack, you gotta finish it off.
Jackalope, would you like
he's
to
not
attack?
here. He's still not here.
When in doubt, make another bullet with my hand.
God.
Alrighty.
I
Go ahead
will
and
shape
make me a
mix
dex roll.
bullet.
2 degrees of success is a dang good bullet. And now a dex for the throw. With a success, you are able to launch it. It punches into there, and rather than being stopped at the text, this time there's the sound of cracking marble. You have broken it open. The screaming has gone silent.
Pog.
What's in it? What's inside it?
That's an excellent question. Lynn, can you go ahead and roll me a sense?
Yeah.
A degree of success. Looking at it, you can see not quite into it, but there is a vague sense of its contents. You can see hands that are very human-like, clawing at the inside in order to try to break it open further, and you can hear the flaking of it as it's trying to crawl out.
Ugh.
Whatever's inside is not done, but it wants out. Seems like it's figured out that right now, after what y'all just did to the egg, it's more of a tomb than anything else.
Jesus.
At that, you can see from the heat signature that it rears its arm back in order to try punching it.
Oh boy.
Holy
The
heck.
entire surface of the egg detonates into powder. It seems like the inside is far more fragile than the outside, which probably isn't surprising given how eggs work. You can see that it is very human shaped from the torso, from the lower body up. Around its hips region, it is a mass of goo. It is this roiling mixture of black and white, and you can clearly see some elements of human anatomy as well. You could swear that you see human bones mixed in there. It was not done.
Ugh.
It opens its mouth, and you can hear... It sounds like 3 different people screaming bloody murder mixed together with that same tinnitus sound from before. Everyone
Messed up.
roll endurance. This one is far louder. Jackalope is fine.
Hunter
Katie
is
is fine.
not.
Hunter is not looking so fine.
This is best stat too.
Guys, I can't do this, guys. I'm out.
Oh!
Oh no.
Helly only has 1s on her thing. That is I'm going to count that as a crit failure. Oh,
Yeah.
that's bad.
Linene hasn't heard enough
okay.
people scream bloody
If
murder
I'm-
to get used
if
to
I'm-
it yet.
Oh my
So,
God.
Lynn, So the problem is that landing strategy doesn't kick in if you are immobilized. And right now you are functionally immobilized by the sound. You are falling 30 feet. You are unable to catch yourself.
Oh.
Now, Katie and Jackalope are both capable of functional movements. Hunter, you are dropped to your knees from the pain in your ears. However, Jackalope and Katie, both of you have the opportunity. You can tell Lynn is falling.
I'll throw Katie at her.
Katie, do you resist?
No.
No resistance? Okay, so roll strength with a -1 since you only have one arm.
Oh no.
2 degrees of success either way.
Oh my goodness.
Katie, a moment later, you are soaring through the air like the very majestic Nevermore that you had sought to protect mere moments ago. The screaming has completely stopped, as the human-like creature seems to reverse on itself, momentarily turning itself inside out to look behind it. What'd you say?
So hold on a moment, sorry. The stream for some reason muted itself.
How long has it been muted?
2 minutes?
Okay.
Maybe?
Do you need me to recap the last 2 minutes, or?
Yeah, just like 2 minutes. For some reason it just auto muted the Discord and my mic. for no reason.
Okay, so
like 2 minutes.
In the last 2 minutes, basically a high-pitched shrieking sound was heard. It caused Lynn to start falling out of the air. Jackalope threw Katie. Katie caught Lynn, and they both rolled on the ground. However, in the process of being thrown, Katie had let go, quote unquote, let go of the mask, which ended up on Jackalope. Jackalope ended up rolling endurance, but with no degree of success, the mental compulsion caused him to throw it to the side. It tumbled into the crater, and now it has landed in the goo that was of the egg. The screaming has stopped. The creature almost reversed itself backwards as it seems to cave into itself, its head moving towards the mask before it seems to absorb it entirely, forming into a single black sludge all the way through as white begins to start coursing throughout it in streams. Faint flecks of gold can be seen before you watch as it creates a vertical pillar and then surges upwards at an incredible velocity, leaving behind the shattered remains of the egg. Within half a second, it has already cleared what must be 100 meters vertically. It has escaped. The other creature, on the other hand, just going to go ahead and roll its endurance here. Oh, now you roll a degree of success. The other one that was being... Oh, no, I need to roll it twice. Okay. because it's fighting against both Fluffy and Birdie. It is still alive. It is not
Jeez.
looking good when it's being ganged up on like that, though.
So,
However, because it was specifically requested, Hunter, it's forced itself away enough that you have a clear shot.
Sweet.
So you want to roll that dex?
Yeah, I'll assume 2.
Just a standard dex.
Okay. Come on.
don't
Dang.
shoot Birdie or
Okay.
Fluffy.
Now, roll me another dex. This one, on a success, you won't hit your quote-unquote allies.
I'm hitting the allies.
God dang it, man!
Okay, now
Come on.
roll me a 1d2. On a 1, you hit Fluffy. On a 2, you hit Birdie.
Please hit Fluffy.
No.
Please hit Fluffy.
Yeah, hit Fluffy.
Yeah, I hit Fluffy.
You hit Fluffy, and it blasts through a chunk of his arm. Fluffy immediately pulls backwards, having experienced significant damage.
Just don't call out, "'Twas not my intention."
A degree of success. The creature immediately uses this moment to turn the tables and lunges forwards, its arm spearing through a good chunk of the torso of Birdie.
Motherfucker.
Red guy, why?
I aimed for it.
We're literally at a stalemate. You could
You
just
have
let
a
him...
1 out of 3 chance.
Well, the thing is,
Fluffy,
it's
bite
1 and
it.
3 for each dice.
Fluffy, eat it.
So Fluffy is now recoiling from the damage, and the tables have been turned, as now the Birdie is also heavily damaged.
Can
Creature is now in an advantageous position.
Can I put into a barrier?
You can try.
I don't know what the hell I
In your
would pull
case,
for that.
use endurance,
Oh, okay.
because you're
cool.
doing it for blocking it and preventing it from moving. Something that needs to be strong. Degree of success. You are able to create a barrier, preventing it from landing a second hit on Birdie. Does anyone else want to take an action to attack the creature?
I mean, I'll do the same process I've been doing this entire time to not get near him.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a pair of decks. 1 for the bullet, 1 for the throw. It's time to get ready,
hot
and down
dang.
it goes!
Hot dang!
You punch a hole clean through its skull with 3 degrees of success. You succeeded on every dice. That's dang good.
Jesus.
Katie's just like, cool guy's my favorite.
It seems to be frozen in place for a moment, unable to even process the damage that it took, before it slowly starts to seal itself. But even as it does, you can see that chunks of its body are already turning to dust. It is unable to repair itself before its body completely collapses into a powder. All of the damage it took from the Grim, in addition to the finishing blow, was too much for it. That enemy has been vanquished.
Alright. Katie just immediately rushes towards Fluffy and Birdie. It's like, are you guys okay?
And is the only person with senses that transcend the gosh dang physical realm. Go ahead and roll me a sense roll in.
I thought you were going to talk about Katie. I was like the only one that can communicate with the being.
Oh,
2
wow.
degrees of success. Very nice. The thing that jumped in the air is falling back down.
Bitch, no! I thought
But,
this fight was
but
over.
not on any of you. It impacts hard against the ground, crashing into the egg from before. The distance is a solid 50 meters. It's 150 feet. You don't have the speed to be able to clear that in a round, or even in 2 rounds, as it seems to grab onto the egg, cradling it, and then escapes off into the distance.
The heck?
It seems
It
to
just said-
have had the goal of protecting the egg.
Dang. But are Birdie and Fluffy okay?
Not really, no. As it is, Fluffy has been shot clean through the arm, and because of the angle, it also punched through a good portion of his torso. It's not lethal, but it is
He'll
crippling.
live. It's
Is that so?
Meanwhile, Birdie has been impaled through a good portion of the torso and the wings. Technically, the only person in the world who can perform medical procedures on a Grim is you, and you're going to need to now do it immediately for a battlefield surgery if you do not want Birdie to bite it.
Yeah, I do not want Birdie to be another one that bites the dust.
Does it help that
so-
technically I stopped the bird from getting stabbed twice?
Yeah, you also caused it.
Yes.
You also could have just used the shield in order to get them into an advantageous position without shooting.
Well, this is kind of my thing.
Well, when you have a hammer. But yeah, so for you, Katie, I'm going to need 3 back-to-back dexterity rolls, and depending on the number of successes that you get each time, I will tell you what ends up happening.
Whew, okay. 1. Alright, that's pretty good.
That's pretty solid.
Alright.
Okay.
Not good.
Okay.
That one's not as amazing.
All right, so the first one was to stabilize the target. You did a good job. You were able to prevent it from immediately dying. The second roll was in order to prevent it from bleeding out gradually, sealing the wounds enough in order to be able to prevent it from, gradually losing health. You end up managing to get it. That way, it's fair. Like, in terms of D&D, it was originally at, -7. You passed in getting it back to 0. Your next one got it to about 2 health points. Your last one failed. You are not able to heal it any more than that. It is on death's door, but it is not dying.
Woo!
So it's in the same condition as Fluffy.
Okay, alright. Can I do anything for Fluffy?
Roll me 1 dex.
1 dex. Do you mean 1 dex?
Roll me a
dice?
dex, because I told you to do 3 dex earlier. I'm telling you to do 1 now. So
Okay.
only roll dex once. A degree of success. You are able to help Fluffy seal the wound. Beyond that, there isn't a whole lot you can do. However, it's in a better condition than Birdie.
Alright, okay. Okay,
You can see off to the side that Aaron, having been completely blindsided by this and watching at least 7 of his comrades in the family get died, including several being turned into pulpy people paste, is currently staring blankly in shock.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah, dude.
He does not respond, still blankly staring at the literal people paste in the crater.
Oh,
That's
Lynn
rough,
just,
buddy.
Lynn just says, "I'm so sorry."
All right, we have a job to go do. Let's get out of here.
Yep. Hey, medic.
There was
you
the other
good?
egg that fell down.
Yeah,
It's
the
not our
creature
problem.
just picked up that egg and left with it.
Oh, dang. Okay.
I'll look around for the medic.
The medic, she is currently flat on her ass, staring in abject confusion. It is
good?
unlike Aaron. She is able to be shaken out of it, as she wasn't quite as attached to all of those, well, formerly people. She's like, no, but I think I have to be. Situation. Any injured that are salvageable.
I
Megan and
think-
Fluffy are down pretty bad.
Non-grim, I look at Wally. Only his arm's missing.
To be fair, it was already missing. But that's a different problem. I had to disconnect the robotics to, not get sucked into an egg.
Yeah, that was. She looks at the dust that was the egg that hatched properly. That was probably a good idea.
Oh, I should go collect that. Though I think I did pull some muscles.
Yeah. Oh God. She looks over the other members of the family who'd been outside, several of whom are nursing bullet wounds from the original spray fire.
That's probably more important, though. I can deal
Yeah.
with a little muscle sprain.
Yeah, I'm going to get started on them now.
Got it.
Don't use your wings until I'm able to give them a checkup.
All right.
She immediately sprints over.
let's go. I'm gonna go collect the dust. And is there any bits of the eggshell that I can grab?
Yes. The egg that had properly hatched has seemingly disappeared. From the seams of things, it turned into the powder, and all of the gunfire explosions and all of that has caused that stuff to be gone now. However, it's the improperly broken egg, that one, the egg shards did not turn to dust. It seems like whatever process that it was supposed to go through was interrupted.
Oh,
So you are able to salvage those shards.
I'll just take the whole thing. Can I do? I have the
Yes.
shrinking magic, and then I can lift it up with gravity to put it in the warehouse.
I will say yes, that you take it into the warehouse.
Right. I take the cracked egg and the dust of the fallen marbles. What do I call them?
Okay. With that, yeah, you resolve the combat.
Sweet.
Yay! Sad face for all the dead people.
They are a little bit beyond treatments at the moment, tragically.
Katie's just looking around at all the stuff. It's like, ah, flip. That was people paste, huh? Dang. Hate when that happens.
I was honestly thinking if maybe I could shoot off, but I felt so. I didn't want to do that, but maybe I could have stopped some of the bodies from being eaten if I'd shot their legs and then used gravity to move them away. So at least there'd be something, but I'd be way too uncomfortable for that.
No degrees of success. A small rock just soars right over your head. The medic clearly intended to bonk you with it, but missed.
Oh.
Just a slight embarrassed blush on her face before she immediately goes back to surgery. He's like, quit it with the what ifs. Not helpful. You'll linger.
Question.
Yeah.
This guy's just in shock, yeah?
Yes, Aaron is in shock.
Question. Are there just, family weaponry around?
Yes, a variety of guns are currently sprayed about with owners that will never come back to them.
Do any of them have, transformations?
No, the majority of them are not trick weapons. In fact, the only one who had a, mech shift weapon. The only person who had a mech shift weapon is Aaron, the leader.
Could I maybe use any of these as parts for my new arm?
Well, you can't craft yourself a new arm, but you can take the weapons and see if the person who made you the arm can use them as pieces.
Fair enough, I grab a few of them.
Is he gonna... Oh, goodness.
Congratulations. You've now looted the corpses.
That doesn't feel good, bro.
Hey, whatever gets the job done at the end of the day.
Oh, walk over to
You don't feel bad when we do
Aaron.
it in Fallout 3.
I'll walk over to Aaron.
Well,
I'm gonna gently just put my hand on his shoulder. Kind of firm, pat on his shoulder.
He just doesn't seem to respond very well. He just stares blankly forward at the paste.
You need to snap out of it. You got other folks to take care of.
Shove him on his side, you hear the medic shout.
I shrug and do so.
It's not hard. He's not stably positioned.
Yep.
But most notably, when you shove him on his side, he ends up hitting the ground fairly hard, having not been braced for it. But perhaps most importantly, he breaks. He's no longer able to see the paste that was formerly his friend's. So that seems to shake him out of it as he shakes violently for a moment as he realizes that he fell over.
Take a breath.
He's breathing fairly heavily as he sits up.
Don't put my hand back on his shoulder. Take a breath.
God.
I just go over and gesture for the goose to come over, and it's like, hey, do you wanna pet the goose? That always calms me down when I'm down in the dumps, you know?
The goose casually, well, not exactly casually, it steps forward, holding its head high as it just waddles its way onto the dude's lap.
Waddle, waddle.
He seems to regard it for a moment, and hesitantly moving to pat it as he's saying, I need to get this info back to the father. What was that? What was it?
It was.
Hey, Katie.
Yeah.
So, specifically you,
Yeah.
in a voice that you don't expect to come out of your own mouth, say Seraphim.
Oh, flip. I don't even know what that word means.
That's the
Well,
angel word?
Katie doesn't.
Seraphim? Did you just say
Seraphim.
the angel one? The angel
Yes.
fucking seraphim.
Yes.
Gonna look at Katie and just be like, and how do you know that exactly?
Dave, probably.
As she thinks about it, yeah, it's Dave.
It's gotta be Dave. I don't think our connection was ever severed when Dave went and did a flippin' epic anime thing.
Seraphim.
Right.
Well, the connection has been severed, but like when it was putting words in your head, that's a word that just stumbled out of your lips.
Seraphim.
Yeah.
That's a word for angels. What? Wait, then if there's Grim and Seraphim, then are we fighting the wrong side? Wait, what exactly is going on with this?
That is an excellent question.
Why would they name
Nobody-
something like that? Seraphim.
Nobody here
they
has a good
just
answer for
I'll
what.
look at Aaron for a second. Dispatched people, so I assume they are not angels in our sense.
Well, they certainly had a body heat, and they spoke like humans, and had. Well, I almost saw bones, like humanoid bone structure inside of them.
You say speak like humans, but it's noteworthy that the only human-like sound was the sound of humans screaming, and that was in the egg that you broke open long before it was ready to hatch.
I'm just gonna like look over at Aaron and it's like, hey, so do you know what was up with the flippin' mask thing underneath the floorboards in the pulpit?
No.
What was up with that? No?
No, I don't think we ever ripped up the pulpit.
I'm the first, huh? Sorry about that. It was whispering, you know. It was kind of weird. Yeah. So, if I had to guess, these Seraphim guys, they're probably like pretty darn old. They fight with the Grim a lot. There's probably back before like flipping all the timeses. So
Before
like
them,
we're dealing with some eldritch horrors, guys. I'm pretty excited. It's pretty hype.
I feel like
Don't
that
say that
statement
too
should
late.
be concerning.
Yeah, coming from a Foundation researcher, that's not too surprising, though. As it ends up, Aaron slowly stands up, pointedly keeping his eyes away from the crater. I can go to the father. I need to tell him about this. I need to ask him about this. He might know something.
it would be good to know what's going on with this.
Yeah. Normally we're not supposed to take outsiders to the main base, but I don't think we're going to have that problem here.
Well,
Yeah.
if you don't mind us coming along.
I'll lead
I
the way.
mind us going along. We have a job to do and a job to finish. No offense, this isn't our problem.
I understand that we just had to figure out this.
Isn't our
and then
job
come
to
back.
return back to the father?
No, the
job-
father is different from the boss. The boss is the
okay.
dude who's in charge of the organization. He refuses to give his name. The
Ah,
father
However-
is the leader of the family.
yeah,
He
we
can
need
go
to
do
finish
his
our
side of
job.
things because these were his people. Our job is simply to return back to the boss and give him what we got.
However,
This isn't our problem.
I can understand that.
We
Considering we
could
also don't have
split
a
up.
time limit.
If you and Katie want to go follow him, he might have more information on these creatures, and if you two find more information on them, then if they appear in the future, that'd be useful. Me and Jackalope can find out whatever else we can find in this place and return back to the leader. We meet up somewhere.
But I still think that perhaps we should stick together, though. I know Katie and I we're fine on our own, but if we find more of those seraphim, we won't be
Then
the best
run.
on our own.
Faster than a bullet.
We're not heroes, miss.
I understand that.
Then why are you trying to act like one?
I'm curious. Aren't you curious about where the seraphim is going to lead up to be?
I don't really care. It's not my job right now. I'm on the job. This isn't the pleasure hunt. This is a job moment.
But so you don't find anything interesting about where this could go?
Jackalop's holding a bunch of guns in his one good arm as he's blankly staring at you.
Think about it. We heard tales about things being larger than the moon, fingers grasping and tearing apart the moon. Isn't that something worthy of something to fight for later? Or fight against for you?
You really do just think I'm a battle junkie, don't you?
Well, it's the only thing I know so
To
far.
be fair.
Both of
I
them
fight
just feel like
things that are
"Oh."
actually worth fighting.
Mm.
However, as Jackalope kind of motions to his arm, that's already cost me one arm. Thank you very much.
Well, it's technically
And
cost
that
you
wasn't
2 of them.
exactly for the fight.
Mm.
If you couldn't guess already, I don't know the full capabilities of my semblance. I don't really care about the fight. I care about my semblance. Because I don't know what it's fully capable of doing without, eviscerating my body into little bits. That's what I care about. That's what I'm interested in. Let me be very clear to you, Lynn. If you look deep enough into a void and it stares back, what do you think you'll see? Do you really want that answer? I'm no hero, and I'm not going to act like one. I'm a merc doing a job. You're free to do as you wish, but I would prefer if people keep that in mind, that in this instance, at the very least, we aren't heroes, we're mercs. Doing jobs for a group we don't fully understand the intents to, doing what we can to get by. That was reckless, given that thing ate my arm, spat it back out at everything around it, and then proceeded to eat the corpses that it created. Yeah, no offense. I'd rather, go home and make a new arm, make a new gauntlet, given that my Oso ate my other gauntlet, which is going to be a pain to make a second one of these.
Mhm.
I don't know exactly how they work. I just know how to operate them.
I can fix them for you.
Thank you.
Mm.
But there's no clear benefit to this. It's just sticking our noses into something that we don't even understand without a game plan for something that doesn't really seem like it's our problem at the moment, given it was attacking them primarily and ignored us until we got involved because you two couldn't keep your noses out of it.
That's my favorite part.
Jekyll just looks at you for a moment like, actually, that's on par for you. Like, it's a moment of, like, his head kind of, like, looks over and he's just, like, he kind of just, like, nods a little bit. Yeah, like, yeah, that makes sense for you.
It's on
Brief
brand.
moment of confusion. Brief moment of concern. Continued
Be my
education of, yeah, that makes sense.
But what is the benefit for fighting these things? What do you gain out of it?
I hear you. And I will agree that I had decided to help because I felt led to do that. And I can also agree that our personalities, of course, are different. If I don't exactly want us to split up, so I will agree. If you want to go back and finish this mission that we've done first, I can lay like a teleport here and then we can go back, and then perhaps we can consider coming back, or at least half of our team can, so that half of us, the ones that are interested, can figure out more with the tribe while you have a downtime for your arm.
Yeah.
Is there
What's
a
the
way that we
benefit?
can...
Mm.
I'm asking Jack if there's a way that we can make a consensus.
Yeah, he's
What do you
wondering
wanna do?
what the benefit that you get from fighting the angels are.
Hmm.
And that Aaron speaks and says, "What do you want?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
If you want to know, you want a benefit. Tell me what you want." And there's a noticeable spark in his eyes as he says that.
See, now we're talking my language.
Four of you are clearly strong, capable. You were able to take down one of them, and that's the kind of power you can be lucky to buy. And rest in peace to my brothers, but it looks like I'm in the market for some higher firepower.
Mm.
Oh, and gives him a somber look.
So, what do you want? If you want to be hired to fight the Seraphim, tell me your price.
I need
I
better.
looked at Jack.
I need better. I need better English. Can't brain. Please function. I need a better prosthetic. The stuff that we're scrapping up back with the boss ain't cutting it. That thing fell apart. Could probably fall apart if I actually put some actual oomph into it, and it's not. And it was a slop together job anyway. You give me a better prosthetic, I give you the firepower I have naturally.
Do you have someone who can craft them? Someone who can make a prosthetic?
Looks over at Doc. Think they'd be willing to help?
The medic wipes her brows. Says, "Yeah, the issue with your prosthetic before, it wasn't bad, but we weren't exactly pulling out the highest quality materials since you're still new. So it sounds like we've got someone willing to bankroll some high quality stuff." Aaron nods at that.
And I can
We know some
shift.
places.
I can mecha shift your gauntlet into your arm itself, making it more powerful in a smaller container.
Ooh, you can make it do stuff. Like dispense cookies.
You want materials? We'll get you the materials.
All
We're down on people, but that doesn't mean we can't knock over a few places.
And like that, you have my cooperation.
Do you have a
Glad to
place
hear.
that you would want to meet us? We have to finish our job first.
That portal thing you did. He gestures to
Yeah.
Lynn. Yeah. Can you make those remotely? Is that your semblance?
Can be considered. I can lay one here, but I'd have to go all the way back. I didn't. Wait, did I leave one?
At this
I
point,
did have to.
you did have to close and open.
I had to
things.
close it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'd have to go all the way back. But then when I get there, after we're done, I can immediately come back.
That's
to the
fine.
portal.
I've got some burials to deal with. Take your time.
Goodness.
So we'll return right here when we're able.
Yeah. I'll send word ahead to the father, and we'll get started on gathering your pay now.
All right.
We all on the same page?
I nod.
Talk to you in however long it took us to get here.
That the medic says, "I'll wait for you to come back, and then I'll use your portals to jump straight back when you are on the return."
Oh,
That fine?
okay. Yeah.
Cool. At that, she readjusts her tied up hair before going right back to surgically removing the chunks of metal inside of the still living bodies.
Ugh. I'll
Alrighty.
pat the guy's shoulder. My condolences.
Thanks. Good luck getting back. Here's hoping you don't encounter another one.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure we will.
If we do, I'll
Probably.
probably end up losing another arm to it.
We'll try and
Well,
make that
we'll
not
still get you
happen.
We'll try our darndest.
At that, Aaron starts moving around and going towards some of the bodies to get them together for a burial.
I
Meanwhile,
nod
sounds
and
like the
I
rest of you
turn.
head out.
Yep, I turn towards the direction. As I believe I have a perk for that. Somewhere. I'll turn toward direction of where we came from. And I'll start walking that direction. Come along, folks.
Cool.
Let's go.
Alrighty.
As you all head down the path, there's an odd feeling, specifically coming from Katie. She feels a bit off. Katie, it feels like your muscles are sorer than they should be. You're more tired, but more in a loopy sort of way. The kind of way, like you're sleepy, not exhausted. More like a sort of silly tired.
Mm.
But perhaps the most important thing is your right hand feels very, very light.
Mm.
And that's where we're going to end the session for tonight.
Oh.
Because we
Oh,
only
wait,
have
hold
like
on.
5 minutes left.
I just realized I gotta do something with Fluffy and Birdie before we flip and head out.
Are you going to shrink them so that they fit in your pocket, turning them into pocket monsters? Pokemon, if you will?
Are you befriending the giant bird?
I should probably ask Aaron about the bird first. That does technically not belong
Aaron
to
gives you
me.
permission to take the bird.
Sweet.
You can have the thick ass bird? Yeah, sure, bud.
I'm just gonna end up developing like a flippin' Pokemon team.
Oh, can I actually draw the marble creature, or I guess the seraphim, and then hand it to Aaron so that when he asks about that for his leader, his father, he
You
can
probably
have a
shouldn't stare
description?
at it too long, though. You should probably fold that up. I don't think he would want to look at that often.
Well, it's a better descriptor than what he remembers,
So
right?
you sketch out the picture, you hand it to him. He takes it solemnly, and he will use it for that purpose.
Got it.
Nice,
Fog.
nice. Alright. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did, feel free to come by next week, where we'll be doing yet another episode as we're going to see what happened to Katie's hand when Jackalope gets his new arm. And Hunter fulfills another undercover mission and figures out how to continue his undercover mission, I guess. And Lynn learns more about angels, demons, and who knows what, where, when, and how. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to hit that follow button. Go check out some of our other series, and go check out Tables of Tartarus, our YouTube channel, where we catalog all of our weekly and monthly sessions and stuff like that. And we'll see all you fine folks on the next episode, which I believe is tomorrow at 7 p.m. PST. We'll be playing some West of Loathing. Have a good night, folks.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.